Righty, Cole. Today in our English, we are going to be looking at commas. Now, we've already done commas in noun phrases and expanded noun phrases, which hopefully you may remember. But today we are going to be looking at commas in a list. So I ask you to write what your favourite things are, but doing this in a list. So let's have a go at the first one. The first thing I've asked you to do is write down your favourite animals. So I'm going to start with my favourite animals are. Now, Miss Malcolm really would like to get a dog, so I like dogs. I also really like pandas because they look all cute and fluffy, so I'm going to write pandas. I also really like tigers. I think they're a very nice colour. So I'm going to write tigers. I also like elephants because I love their long trunks. Elephants. And now I'm only going to write one more animal. So before you write the last thing in your list, you need to use the special word and, which we all use lots, but it's especially important when you're writing a list that between your last two things, you write and. So because I'm going to write my last animal, I'm going to write and first. And the last animal that is my favourite is rabbits. So I'm going to write it's, and it's the end of my sentence, so I need a full stop. My favourite animals are dogs, pandas, tigers, elephants and rabbits. But I haven't got anything to separate between the different items in my list. So that's where we really need to use our commas. So my favourite animals are dogs. I need a comma before I write my next animal. So dogs. Pandas, I need another comma. It's my next thing in my list. Tigers, it's the next animal in my list, so I need another comma. And then I don't need to put a comma after elephants because I've got my special and that comes after it. So the last two things that are in your list, you don't need to put commas near them because at the end of your sentence you use a full stop. And if you've got and, the magic and, then you don't need to use a comma before the second last item because of your and. So that might have sounded a little bit confusing, so I think we should have another go. The next thing that I've asked you to list is your favourite foods. So just like before, let's write my favourite foods are. Now, I really like mangoes, so I'm going to write mangoes. Now, as this is the first item in my list, after it, before I write my next item, I need a comma, just like that. What else do I like to eat? Oh, I know, I really like rice. So I'm going to write rice. And again, because that's my next item in my list, I need to put another comma in. I also really like to eat peas, so I'm going to write peas. And again, I need a comma. I also really like pasta, it's very yummy. So I'm going to write pasta. pasta. And then I'm only going to write one more food down. So I don't need a comma, if we remember. Instead, I use my magic and. And I'm going to write my last favourite food, which is chocolate. I love chocolate. So, ch-o-lat. And a full stop at the end because it's the end of my sentence. My favourite foods are mangoes, rice, peas, pasta and chocolate. I've got commas to separate all the items in my list except for at the end, because in between the last two, remember, I use my magic and. So I'll have a go at one more example before you guys have a go. So another thing that I've asked you to write about is your favourite subjects at school. So just as before, I'm going to write my favourite subjects are, and Miss Malcolm really likes to do maths. I love math puzzles and I do them all the time at home. So I'm going to write maths. And before I write another subject, another thing in my list, I need to have a comma for math, after maths. I also like art because you get to draw nice things, you get to make nice things, and it's really fun. So I'm going to write art. And again, a comma. I also love science and I really like doing experiments. So, science. And again, remember, a comma before my next subject. I like PE, especially in the summer, because usually we get to go outside to do it and that's really fun. PE. And now I only have one more favourite subject, even though they are all really good. So I'm going to use my magic and before I write my last subject, the last part to my list. PE and PSHE. And then I need a full stop to finish my sentence. My favourite subjects are maths, art, science, PE and PSHE, with all my commas in and my magic and just before the last thing in my list. So what I'd like you to do is go back, and I would love you to create lists to tell me what your favourite animals are, your favourite foods are, your favourite subjects are, and what your favourite books are. Once you've finished, you can email them to me, and of course I will send you some reward points for your hard work and your learning. Have a good day, Seacole. Bye bye.